Alright, welcome back to the Grow Farming Network. Today we're going to take it a little bit slower. We're going to plant, Guillory from Guillory's Louisiana Homestead brought us Bruce plum. And the thing about here, our land is so low, so you may have the same problem, that peaches and plums are some of the hardest for us to plant on our land. For some reason, they just don't like maybe the moisture or whatever. And then I haven't even had a chance to have that problem, but then once they start fruiting, they say they have other problems with pests, worms, all kind of pests that want to get in those soft stone fruit. So at least I want to get to that point to where we start getting some fruit. We actually got a few peaches last year, I believe it was, on one of our smaller potted up peach trees, so I know that they will fruit in pots. So what we want to do today is give them a bigger container. I got a container here is what I'm going to put it in, kind of just to match it. So I got one that's a matching size. The way I'm going to pot this, I'm going to put it in the ground, but in a container at the same time. So this is just the easy way to do it. If you got some black pots hanging around, basically I just went around and kind of edged out the circumference of this pot, and now I can move it out the way because I can see where I want to take the soil out. And I don't want to really take out too much. I just want to take out enough. And I left it over there. Something to put the dirt on top of. But basically you just want to start going in to the soil, kind of like you're gonna plant it in the ground, but you don't have to go as deep. After I do this, then we're gonna cut the bottom out of that pot. Refill everything so you can kind of see the little circle that I put in here. What you doing, big head? So by cutting the bottom of the pot, you're actually going to give it a chance to, now I want to kind of even it off now. Give it a chance to root in the ground, but never really have the root ball that far down. So it'll be kind of like a potted plant. And I'm only doing this, all my other trees I'll put in the ground. Peach trees, plum trees, either a raised bed or this method seems to be the best method, or for like lowland. So now I want to start kind of evening this off. And you can see it's just clay at that point. He's like,
you got your shovel.
Yeah, so at this point, basically clayed out. Actually, by knowing that you have this in a pot, you'll know that, yeah, I still got to put some amendments and stuff into it. Still got to feed it, but not as much once it gets established into the pot itself. And I measured this and I still didn't get it right. So I gotta go straight down around that line.
You gotta make it bigger?
Just flatter. It's at an angle.
Looking at the airplane?
Let's see, let's check that one.
There you go.
There you go. And you can see, I probably want it a little bit deeper. I want it to be totally down there. So Maybe a little bit.
I got a dirt in your head. Oh, I got a free blow dryer today. Look.
What?
Are you done?
I don't know.
Keep telling you, are you done? Yep, eggs. It's just like it's kind of soft. The ground is soft today.
Yeah,
Soft
and if you want to do any kind of planting, try to do it when your ground is still wet from rain. Makes it so much easier.
you keep going, Dad.
Makes it so much easier.
And he put in it this like the plum by the like where used to be our like banana square.
So I like it. I like it
Yeah.
at about that level.
That level is
Now, what I'm gonna do is, because I got something I want to show you in the bottom of this one. Other than that, I would just put this up in here and put it over. But we want to save some soil. So what I have under here is, I really don't have a whole bunch of soil. I'm going to show you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this dirt over. I'll do this until it gets light enough for me to pick it up. I'll show you how I kind of save on dirt. You would think that that was filled with potting soil and potting mix, but really it's not. I save on dirt if I'm losing dirt. So if you look in here, you'll see really I got all these pots over here just turned over. So I think it's light enough for me to turn them over. Hope ain't no snake up under there.
Oh, I'm gonna run. You know I don't like it.
So you can see the roots still gonna get down there. So don't worry about not getting your roots. All right.
I'm like a little.
And you can use I use these because I had a lot of them. Now I actually need these because I'm running out. Probably would be better. Since this time what I can do is I can mix in the native soil since I got this here instead of using these. This is how I use most of my pots, especially my bigger pots. I always got little small pots at the bottom turned over, taking up a lot of space. Probably still need to put a couple down here. Around. Can you see that good on that side?
Yeah.
Turn around.
See.
Right there. Let me see. A little bit more difficult when it's on the last little pieces because there's nothing to really hold it. And you probably should put on some gloves because the plastic is a little bit
Sharp.
Yeah, so now here you go. You got that in there. Nice and tight. I'm gonna go ahead. I was gonna use some plastic jugs. You can use plastic jugs, plastic bottles. I'm gonna just use these. Put them back in there. Facilitate drainage. You probably could put one in there upside down. That might could hold some water, but I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna save one of them. So I'm gonna kind of mix it up. Get some of that native soil back in there. Just because kind of mix it in there. Back to this. And this probably just like regular potting mix. I think it got some compost. A little bit more of that native soil. Then I'll find some else to put the rest of it. Everything else I'm gonna put potting mix. I think the vermiculite we added some. The white stuff you see is perlite that we added, and then I want to get to this point and I want to test it before I go too far. Let's see, looks perfect. What you think?
Yeah, that's good.
Looks perfect. Now there's two ways to do this. I can fill this in all around this pot and then take it out and sit it straight in, or if this pot is really
You probably gotta push it in the
sound like the way how
part.
it's falling apart when it's coming out. So let me just sit it in the space I want it in. We're gonna fill in around it. That's my workup coming.
What you gonna do with a little spoon?
Put it over here. Put it over there. One spoon at a time. While they doing that, I got a good bit in here surrounding it. I'm gonna go ahead on and lay it on the side, try to get it out. Pack this down first so it doesn't move too much. Wish it was a little bit more, I don't want to say root bound, but see how it's falling apart. Oh, here we go. Now I gotta move it back. That's the only thing I didn't like, the way it was feeling. That it wasn't as, looks like they did it like a bare root and they planted it from bare root. So it's never had enough time to
Hold the soil.
Yeah. So still can do it. You just got to do it this way. Get those roots down in there. Get them moving. So it looks like this was a fresh plant. Something they just did this year from the nursery. Either way it go, it'll still come out the same. Get a little bit more in the center. I wish it would have been a little bit tighter. That would have worked out perfectly. Now I'm gonna take the rest of this soil.
Whoa. Just dump it in there.
Oh.
Be careful, you're shaking the tree too.
Alright. And basically it's in there. Under that line where it was planted. Try to keep it still with your same line.
Say the magic word, Ari.
Go. So basically, without the mishaps, I'm not gonna edit it out either. Without the mishaps of the pot not being kind of really rooted well enough, it was just, they had it stuck up in there. Looks like most likely from a bare root tree that they planted. Probably this maybe summer, this winter. Like they just did it. So all we're gonna do is water that in, and basically now you can take your soil that's around and just kind of kind of fill it in. But unless the water, the good thing about this, unless the water back here gets up this high, it's not gonna drown the tree. So we're gonna give this a try this year. Hopefully this works. I'll let you know in a few months. We'll come back, we'll visit it and see how it's doing. Hopefully this will be the first, well, second plum tree that survives on our property. The first one we had, our neighbor's oak tree fell and crushed it. So this is our second one back here. I guess the only tree can crush it is that one, or maybe that one. So we'll see. Thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. How to pot your container plants in the ground. See you next time. We got more work to do. I got another hole right behind you for our persimmon tree. It's gonna be a long, long spring and summer. So as always, grow, grow, grow. Peace.